Xbox CEO Asha Sharma set a global record for tech executives today by being the first and only one to cancel an AI feature nobody asked for, really. Welcome to Inside Games Daily, the only gaming news show brave enough to notice. She announced this on the same day she hired a bunch of her former AI executive coworkers, too.
This is not a funny coincidence, huh? How about that? Well, you know what? Even if it's intentional, at least it tells us that Sharma knows how to read the room and work some headlines, and that's positive. And hey, you know what? It works out because this is still great news.
She learned from the best, maybe Phil Spencer. I'm not sure. Sharma announced a doubleheader of welcome news for AI haters in an X post yesterday, saying that the Xbox division will, quote, begin winding down Copilot, which is the Microsoft AI thing that nobody likes, on mobile, and will stop development of Copilot on console.
Yes, awesome. Good stuff. This will allow Xbox to, quote, move faster, deepen our connection with the community, and address friction for both players and developers. Oh, the friction of like when stupid AI bullshit keeps popping up and asking me to use it, and I cast it away every time. That kind of friction?
Close that window every time. There aren't many tears being shed for Copilot at the moment. Not only is AI generally reviled in gaming circles, but the feature itself never really explained itself very well, so nobody really knew how to use it anyways.
Yes, man, this is some eye-rolling stuff here. Introductory clips from 2024 don't really show much imagination. A tinny robotic voice walks someone through Minecraft basics like, get away from zombies.
Oh no, it's a zombie. Run. You need to get away from it fast. Either sprint away or quickly build a tower of blocks straight up to get out of its reach.
We should, I mean, I love laughing at this stuff. We should observe a moment of silence for the gamers too stupid to realize you do have to get away from the zombies. What will they do without Copilot's expert guidance? I mean, I guess they die to a bunch of zombies in Minecraft. I don't know.
Yeah, just stare unfocused at the screen as their health goes down. What's happening? Yeah, there was a more recent trailer that showed gaming Copilot just rereading the on-screen descriptions of abilities to the player.
Hey, I'm stuck. Can you help?
If you're looking for an AoE blast, Weaver's Bliss is the way to go. But if you like attacking from a distance, definitely go with Amplified Range.
For the players that can't read the description themselves, the one sentence that says this shoots a laser blast, there's even a video clip of the ability being used, and the player's like, Copilot, what is this?
Sharma's post also mentions internal promotions and, quote, bringing in new voices to help us push forward. So those new voices just so happen to be largely from Sharma's former department at Microsoft and former employer, Instacart.
Yes, interesting how that works out, huh? Sharma detailed the new postings in an internal memo that was reported on by Eurogamer. Of the 5 new lead roles defined therein, 4 are filled by former leads on Microsoft's core AI team, which Sharma came from. And then the 5th is from Instacart, which she worked at before Core AI.
Yeah, so on the same day, Sharma publicly announced that Xbox is stepping away from gaming Copilot AI. She also internally announced the hiring of 4 more former AI executives.
What could it mean? Yes. So there are a couple of ways to interpret this, I think. We'll do the most cynical one, because it's also the funniest, is that Sharma's killing of gaming Copilot's just a symbolic announcement to cover the hiring of a bunch of her executive buddies who are all just chasing AI dollars.
Yeah, I mean, they will all no doubt announce thrilling partnerships with a bunch of third-party companies that they are all personally invested in. This has happened to us, Lawrence and I, many times, where randomly executives would come in and be like, why did they hire them? And then we found out they were invested in technology that they were using. This happened to Machinima. And they were like, yeah, they bought this $500,000 machine. We were like, what? For what? We didn't even need it. And then we found out that executive was invested in the company that made the machine. It's just the worst thing in the world.
Yep. And meanwhile, when it comes to gaming Copilot, and again, we're on our cynical tick right now, gaming Copilot is just rebranded into some other annoying and intrusive AI feature that we'll all have to tolerate and ignore. Maybe like a hollow Master Chief will show up and be like, hey, you're playing my game.
What about, we need Cortana. We need Cortana in a bathing suit.
They already did that. Cortana came and went, man.
Well, I want more Cortana. Or maybe, you know what? Maybe a Master Chief with no pants on, Master Cheeks.
There it is.
There we go. Yeah.
Ass out, Chief.
All right, but this is too cynical. Let's challenge ourselves a little bit here and actually look forward to the future and be a little more optimistic. Reports in early 2026 indicated that Microsoft is actually scaling back their investment in Copilot. across the company based on user fatigue and lack of use.
Can't get anyone to use it, right? Might as well chuck it out. A separate report from The Information in late 2025 claimed that Microsoft was whiffing their Azure-based agentic AI sales targets big time, and that report caused Microsoft stock to drop 2.5% the next day. Well, I guess it's not always causation, but you know, the report happened and then boom, there was a drop. So I think it showed some lack of faith, not only from investors in the fact that AI is ever going to generate money, but also maybe some truth to the fact that Microsoft's not generating any money with it.
So it's possible Sharma is more or less taking ownership of a decision that would have been made anyway, but this would also explain bringing over execs from Microsoft's core AI division.
Yeah, but in a non-cynical way. So if Microsoft is scaling back investment in AI or in Copilot, and let's say you're Ashish Sharma and you've worked with this particular executive team over there, you have a great working relationship with them, you trust them, it makes sense that you'd want to bring over the crew that you felt really comfortable working with, where they get laid off and the division Microsoft might be scaling back from. And then the other, even less cynical way to interpret that is that Xbox is the safe division to get into at Microsoft. So they are probably not going to be cutting soon, hopefully. I guess that already happened, but it could happen again. But yes, to me, that implies that with whatever visibility Sharma has on where the money's flowing inside Microsoft, if these are her buds and she wanted to keep working with them, she wants to keep them on a team that's safe for now, that would be Xbox. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, but when it comes to cutting gaming Copilot, first of all, glad to hear it. Love it. But where my head goes is that there was probably hardware dedicated to the running of that in the next Xbox, and it might be a little too late to start changing the hardware spec, especially if they're maybe going into manufacturing soon, if it's supposed to launch in late 27. Well, they maybe have 6 months to do some panic rework of the design, but I assumed that there would be, based on the design of the ROG Xbox Ally, that actually has like a neural co-processor, I assumed that that was there for things like gaming Copilot. It's possible there are future features we haven't seen yet, some neural rendering stuff that may roll out to the handhelds once it's available on Project Helix or whatever the next iteration will be. But that was curious to me, that the decision to kill a feature like that is great, and we all love it. But now, is there just going to be this cold, dusty, unused chip that's in every Xbox that, who knows, adds $10 to the manufacturer? Like, there's some ricocheting decisions there. So it's possible that whatever, that like Copilot running locally actually doesn't use that many resources, so it's not that big of a trade. But maybe now there are resources that are opened up for something else, if those resources are even interchangeable. Who knows? But yeah, I immediately think about that like, those resources were probably planned for and dedicated for. So yeah, who knows? Maybe now there's, I keep saying who knows a lot, because I'm trying to reinforce that I don't know, I'm just speculating. But yeah, maybe for the next Xbox now, there is 5% more console overhead that can be made available to something else.
Yeah, no, Lawrence, that's a pretty safe assumption that there was a neural processing or, whatever chip that in there was supposed to handle AI in Project Helix, the new Xbox. I feel like that's a safe assumption. I don't know that this step from Ashish Sharma means that AI is gone from everything forever. I hope that it is. That would be great, because I don't want it and nobody uses it. But her being an AI executive first, at least coming from that team, that would assume that there'd probably be some AI somewhere in the new Xbox. Maybe. But I very cynically said when Ashish Sharma first came on, I remember saying, oh, this is a transition thing. In 2 years, Xbox will be shuttered entirely. I hope I'm wrong. And I said that before, and I'll say it again. I hope I'm wrong, because these decisions that she's making seem very good from a public perspective. She hasn't really delivered on anything other than, I guess, the price decrease for Game Pass, which was already, double. But they lowered it a little bit, I guess. I don't know. That's a good decision. So I do hope that these positive decisions keep trending this way. And I think maybe the executives at Microsoft are starting to understand that nobody wants AI anywhere. It really seems like it. It seems like I've not seen any support for AI from anyone. Maybe there's like one or two people I talk to that are like, oh yeah, I use it every day and it's great. But not for, the stuff that Microsoft wanted it to use it for. So hopefully she has sort of divorced herself entirely from AI and is now being like, let's focus on gaming. Let's focus on this Xbox that is a PC. We'll have it'll be a Steam machine and an Xbox machine, and it'll be the best Xbox ever. I really am looking forward to it. So I hope that is what we're doing, and we're not going to get Copilot or some other clippy AI bullshit shoved in there.
Chief ass. I did. Bruce, I took this very cynically right away because I'm just trained. My brain forces me to do that when it comes to any executive proclamations. But I think where I went cynically too directly is, what does that matter to anybody? Like, gaming Copilot wasn't a thing yet. So you're celebrating by killing something that was never alive in the first place. You're harvesting points from it, which is, that's fine. But when you start making, and a lot of with the exception of Game Pass, like you said, a lot of what she's done so far has been kind of symbolic, renaming the division, proclaiming these things, making very kind of directed and bold but non-specific executive statements. But it's still early into her tenure. I think she's making the changes and the decisions you're allowed to make with such a short runway. Everything else takes time. You gotta, have meetings and make decisions and ask your people to implement it. And it's steering a ship isn't instant. So in ways I can appreciate that she's making the symbolic decisions now because those are the only ones you can make. And then the price change for Game Pass was good. This kind of felt like another making the easy declaration, claiming ownership of something that was probably happening anyway. But what I appreciate is I think I've come back around. I like it when people are happy. And if somebody can read the room enough to do that properly and tell the people the things they want to hear, even if they're not entirely substantive just yet, it's still nice when everyone's in a good mood. And that's kind of rare. So I'm grateful for that, if nothing else. That it seems like she's got a good handle on how to speak to the core, at least, or tell them things that they want to hear. I'm curious if it's... I feel like nobody is good at that for very long, If people start to think of you as the gamer's champ, you're going to have to tell them something they don't want to hear eventually, and that's when the real test is going to come. So I'm going to wait for that. Maybe I feel like price for the Helix is going to be the big determination there. But everything else has been interesting and smooth sailing so far. So you know what? I have to appreciate it. I've appreciated the game that I've seen so far. We'll see when it gets tough. We'll see what happens.
We went through all these same decisions with Phil Spencer. I remember,
yes.
Distinctly, I think I remember
all the early day stuff when everybody's like, Phil's the best.
Yeah.
He's going to save us.
Me and you talked about this with Phil Spencer, the same thing, because he made a bunch of great decisions and we're like, oh my gosh, he's gaming second, but he's the gaming messiah. And then he started having to make hard decisions. And Asher Sharma's going to have to make those decisions soon. Like, it's not going to happen 10 years from now. Xbox has to turn around right now. So I don't envy her, but also I'm glad that she's making some positive decisions, like Lawrence said, and I'm happy about it. And I want to continue to be happy about it until the rubber meets the road and Satya Nadella comes to her office and says, hey, we need more money. And that's when she's going to be like, Project Helix is $1,500. Then everyone's going to be like, what the fuck? So, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's $500 and you can do whatever you want with your PC at home, and you can share all your games. Everybody gets a free video game. Everybody gets a free Project Helix. Everything for everybody.
I feel like in terms of life cycles, the rubber's going to meet the road about 2 years after the launch of Helix. Because that's when you know for sure about how many consoles you've moved. You know for sure how your strategy has worked or hasn't worked. And then it's like, what are you going to do now? If it's a smash success and everything works and Microsoft's store somehow blows out Steam and then they're just raking in 30% on everyone's purchases, I'm sure Satya Nadella is going to be pleased as punch and Asha Sharma is going to get all the raises she asks for. But that's unlikely, especially since competition is only getting more and more fierce in this space. PC parts are getting more expensive, and now you can't even fuel the damn ships and planes and cars to get them to stores so people can buy them. So it's getting complicated out there. We'll see. I feel like any new executive, they're only there because the current executive team above them has bought into their vision or their sales pitch about what they're going to do with this brand. And I feel like that at minimum probably includes like a 5-year plan. So at the end of that 5 years, if they're not where they promised they would be, that's when it's, okay, you've got to course correct and you owe me money. And I'm sure Phil was there several times because of where he projected Game Pass would be, but never really ended up.
Not to belabor this point, I really do think Ashish Sharma has an amazing opportunity because Sony is rake stepping right now. Sony is like, they're like, nickel and diming a bunch of people and being like, no, you have to spend this much money on our store and it has to be this and it has to be that. There's an on 30-day DRM and all this other bullshit. Ashish Sharma has a fantastic opportunity to jump on that and be like, we can make all this better and actually steal market share from Sony, which is unheard of and has been unheard of for the last 10 years. So I hope that happens because then this competition is always good for us.
Absolutely, yeah. Stoking a little drama, little console wars, firing back up. I love it. Old times are here again, Bruce. Hey, speaking of old times, if you're watching right now, it's possible you've been watching us for a while. And if so, we'd like to thank you for that. We love doing this, which is why we're still doing it after, more than 10 years in the game at this point. Ooh, boy. So maybe we'll still be around for the PlayStation 6 versus the Xbox Helix or whatever. We hope so. But it's your support that helps us do that. You're the reason why we'd still be doing it then, and we'll still be doing it. PlayStation 7, 8, 9. I should have said PlayStation 6, 7. Anyway, apologies for that. If you're still watching somehow, thank you. Consider subscribing to the channel or recommending us. We also have a Patreon. We post everything we do there for free. Plus, I hand select a meme for every single episode. So at this point now, it's just hundreds and hundreds of Lawrence memes all the way down. If you want to get into my rotten brain, that's a good way to do it. Check it out. Like I said, it's all for free. But on the Patreon note, we'd like to thank a few supporters that keep us going here. So thank you very much, Spirit Bear, Jonathan Lanowski, Rook, Scotty Ryan, and Null Test. Oh, can't wait for that PlayStation 6.